It is Thursday, February 6th. This is episode 14. 14.
1409er.
Okay. I don't know what that refers to.
I don't know.
I don't either. But couple of clerical things I want to put out real quick. So we've been talking and thinking about the future of how things are going to go. Alex is going to be making some side projects for us. A little thing that we're going to call Man of Mondays. So a couple times a month we'll put out a little Man of Minute like you did a couple episodes ago. That'll be its own individual thing. I'm going to start recording here soon in my professional opinion stuff. I think Tyler wants to do some things with that. The podcast, I hope it's going to remain the same. And we're just going to try to grow. We made several new subscribers last week, which was nice.
Woo! Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much. We had a really nice hit video on our Stellantis clip that I put out. So last check, it was over 1,200 views, which is by far best for us. I think that's almost 600 views over anything else we've got so far. Why does that come back to that channel? Yep. Also, our most commented video so far. So I liked it. I think my Man a Minute stuff will consist of more of the car. Yeah, all the nonsense going on in the car world right now. My Man a Minute, in my professional opinion, my brain would work. It'd be great. So, but on a more pertinent note, can't seem to keep any airplanes in the sky anymore. And then even the ones on the ground are crashing into each other. I don't know if you guys saw that happen yesterday.
No, I did not see that.
No,
missed that one.
So the one yesterday was a Japan Air was taxiing, just cruising along, taxiing, and then it hit its wing on the back of a tail wing of a great big Boeing sitting in an airport somewhere. It wasn't even in the sky, so I don't know how you can blame that one on air traffic control since they were just cruising through the parking lot, basically.
Jeez.
But I've got a few things here on this. So I asked you guys if you guys had heard about the F-35 incidents that happened. This will be Tuesday. I've got it marked as Tuesday, January 28th. It may actually be the week before that. Maybe a week earlier than that. A pilot in Alaska safely ejected from an aircraft before it plummeted to the earth, culminating in a fire explosion at an Air Force base. It was the latest crash involving the F-35 stealth fighter jet, the military's most expensive weapon system, has been credited with revolutionizing modern American warfare, but has also gained a reputation for its setbacks, high costs, and safety concerns. Officials have not said what exactly led to the crash, only that the pilot experienced an in-flight malfunction. The accident mirrors several similar crashes in recent years in which pilots were forced to eject from the stealth fighters. So last May, pilot in New Mexico seriously injured after he ejected from his F-35 near an airfield in Albuquerque. I don't know if you guys remember this. Back in 2023, a pilot ejected from an F-35 and they lost it. It stayed in the air for over 2 minutes, ended up 60-something miles away from where he ejected.
Jeez.
And landed in somebody's backyard.
That'd be a fun
they literally lost this thing and were out there doing a big search trying to find it. So these are manufactured by Lockheed Martin. I thought for sure with all the issues they've been manufactured by Boeing, but I guess not. The worst part about this is these dudes, the initial cost on them is between $82 and $109 million.
Mm-hmm.
A number that I find absolutely exhausting, though. If the F-35 will cost us per jet over its lifespan $1.7 trillion.
Bruh.
And we plan to buy 2,400 of them.
He's like, that's great. Give me 50.
Yeah. 2,400 of these by 2044. $4 quadrillion, $80 trillion to manage that fleet.
That's crazy.
I think we're getting hosed. So, yeah. So I'm kind of at a loss on that, It's just, how do we justify all the electronics issues that we're having in those when the cost is so high for us with them?
It's kind of questionable because, as that little video I put in the group chat earlier, when we've had so many plane crashes and issues, and it's just now February.
Yeah.
And compared to last year, where it's like we've already almost did that entire total of last year's.
We've doubled.
Yeah.
I thought
So-
we've doubled this year in 1 month what they had last year all year.
So it kind of, there's smoke, there's fire. So what's going on with this? What's out there in the world that could possibly be causing these malfunctions? I mean, we have people who live this day and night, are professionals who know their math, know the equipment, and you can't tell me they're just waking up, taking a dingy pill in the morning and forgetting what they're doing.
No. I mean, they are. Air traffic controllers have been understaffed, but it's not an issue that has gotten worse since the first of the year.
Yeah.
That's been an issue for. I remember going to Applebee's. I used to go there I think it was every Thursday night after I got out of college classes. Go there and get some. The air traffic controller for Terre Haute Airport would be in there, and he goes, "We're short-handed." This was 2 decades ago. They've been fighting short-handed issues for years, decades now. Not being able to find enough qualified candidates to do these jobs. I don't want to go and start blowing it out and saying that it's DEI, because just the fact that they're not saying we don't have enough qualified people. We just don't have enough people at all doing the job.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it was DEI, we would have been having those issues the whole Biden administration.
Right. So, I mean, I think they did come out the other day. I saw a report where they said they nullified 3,000 people who scored perfect on the test, become air traffic controllers, because they didn't pass the race questionnaires that they wanted them to pass. So they literally 100% perfect scores on the air traffic controller stuff, but then they couldn't pass all the other nonsense they wanted them to pass.
And that in and of itself is nonsense, because if you're short-staffed,
Yeah.
I'm sure the people who were the race that they were preferring probably scored decently well. I mean, I'm not going to assume that everyone that is of different race or nationalities aren't as smart as the other counterparts that scored those perfect scores.
Correct.
They are probably brilliant, and an A- is still an A in the book of Todd here. It's always that level. So, is it budgetary constraints? Is it because there's too much air traffic coming through and they're getting overwhelmed? With the military section sitting over there in its own little table, with all these other domestic flights coming and going, it's just, are they just too many people flying? They just need to relax that schedule. Is it just too much?
I think a lot of it is like just everybody's shorthanded right now. It's like we have so much job shortage or people shortage and everything right now. Since COVID, a lot of people quit working and haven't went back to work. So there's so much of a gap that they've been trying to fill this in the last 4 years, where everywhere is shorthanded.
Yeah. I mean, and you're going to have the people out there that are going to argue that we shouldn't be deporting people right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can be filling these jobs. Well, the people coming over here for that, I don't know that they're the caliber of people that we need running at air traffic control. I don't think that. You never know. They may be. There may be some smart ones in there, but again, at the same time, I just don't think a lot of those people. That's not what they've been trained to do, for sure.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. There's just too many things, too many weird things going on, too many different coincidences.
Right. There's way too many coincidences.
I mean, you have the Black Hawk crashing into the. I don't even look what it was. The Black Hawk that crashed into the jet plane over there in Washington, D.C. over the last week. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. what happens, but there's so many different things with it, and you start looking into it, start reading, and people are pointing fingers this way, people are pointing fingers the other way. And then you go on there, you try to look, and then one of the first articles I see is where they're talking about how they delayed the release of one of the pilots in the helicopter's name being released until after they completely scrubbed their social media profiles from the internet.
Yeah, I remember I read that.
So it just one of the things just makes you go,
Yep.
So I'll go back here and read what I wrote for that. So the cause of the collision for the Black Hawk still, when I was looking this up on Monday, is still being determined, but the media and the White House has zeroed in on actions taken by the helicopter and aircraft control staffing on the night of the crash as they speculate what went wrong. It is the worst mid-air collision in America since the 1980s. MIT aeronautics professor John R. Hansman said that it's important to take stock of safety concerns, but also recognize that American aviation system is one of the safest in the world. This is terrible, he said, noting there hasn't been a major commercial plane crash since 2009. But it isn't like the system is falling apart. Since his comments, a small medical transport plane crashed into several buildings in Philadelphia on Friday, just 2 days after the Washington crash. The jet was carrying 4 crew members, a child patient, and patient's escort, which is, I believe, their parent. It's hard to think, because I don't want to go down that road. I put in my thing, so I want to caveat the next statement, that I'm getting ready to make after this with my personal opinion here. I do not believe women should be in combat roles in the military. At the same time, I applaud those, regardless of personal beliefs or politics, who have given their all in defense of this country. We are all God's people first, Americans second.
Mm-hmm.
In the story. But that's when I go, the name of that third pilot was not disclosed until sometime after her male counterparts. On social media, speculation spread why Wilbach's identity was withheld. Some users alleged her name was kept secret while her social media accounts were erased. Nothing says government cover-up quite like a dead person's socials disappearing. But this is also, she was a staffer for Biden's White House. And she had been giving tours and different things through the White House under Joe Biden's, under his tenure.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
You'd think somebody that is connected to her would be like, yeah, she was saying some weird things, or she was posting some weird things, or just something peculiar before her social got completely wiped out.
Yeah, but I didn't hear any of that.
No.
Didn't hear any of it. It's just the first thing I heard about all of it was that they delayed it until after her socials were erased. And I don't know if they're delaying it because they had there's multiple things here. They could have been delaying it because they couldn't get a hold of the family to let them know what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because they always tell the family first before they put it out in the media.
Mm-hmm.
That's the absolute worst way you'd want to hear about your family dying on television rather than being told in person. But
yeah.
It's just one of them weird coincidences that I just don't understand, and I'm kind of getting tired of all the nonsense from both sides at the moment because there's just too much finger pointing back and forth.
Absolutely,
too much finger pointing back and forth.
Yep.
So, did anybody really look into that Philadelphia plane crash? Any?
Not a whole lot, no.
Outside of videos of guys speculating on if it was really a plane or not. And then pointing out some of the footage that they were using to show where it wrecked. It didn't show the crater.
Yeah. So, that's the videos of it crashing look suspicious. But at the same time, all 6 of those people that were on that plane were Hispanic. Mexican. They were all Mexican. Mexican nationals. None of them were United States citizens. That was 2 pilots, a doctor and a nurse, kid's parent, and the kid. She had just got done having surgery. I can't remember what hospital. At some hospital around the Philadelphia, D.C. area. Somewhere in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, it sounds like, the only thing I've heard is it sounds like when on the you can hear the pilots on the black box coming over the thing says you're messing with the wrong person right before the plane crashed.
Wow.
It's kind of it's kind of fuzzy, kind of grainy sounds. So I don't know.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Now I want to look into it. Want to listen to it.
Yeah. But I'm just really concerned about what they're doing in this country.
Yeah.
Just how much division is trying to be sowed by both sides.
Yeah, it's a thought that was coming running through my mind is how far can they push stuff? And by they, I mean anyone who is trying to cause issues or disruptions in our culture and society over here. How far can they push it before something rubber bands back into their face? Because it's almost like our generation has kind of pushed this big narrative of like, don't trust the government, always look behind your back, check every door. And it's only going to be exasperated because as we get older, we're going to be even more cynical.
Right.
And then our kids are going to be growing up in that. And it's not because we just hate our government. It's just because you got all these things that happened, like the bombs with the Cybertruck and the other truck that was, they both work in they came from the same area. And it's like, okay, well, is there no connection? And then your government's like, oh, no, there's no connection. It's just happen chance. And
yeah.
And then you got all the drones in New Jersey. And it's just like, oh, it was just people who were jumping in on the bandwagon. It's nothing to worry about. And then you want to rewind it even further back, and you had these weather balloons that came across our nation years back. And it's you just get all this stuff, and they're so vague, and they don't want to tell you the truth because it's all top secret. It's all this, it's all that. And you leave the door wide open for conspiracy theories and tinfoil hats to be coming up on everybody's head here.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, well, how long can you do this? How
At the same time, we're kind of running out of conspiracies because everything's coming to fruition.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about it, is that all the conspiracies are coming to fruition. Everything that we've been saying for years. And then I know you guys don't pay attention to it, but you were talking about how we have that anti-government trust. I remember listening to growing up. Green Day was very anti-government band. Rage Against the Machine was very anti-government. A lot of those groups in that point in time were all anti-government. Now, I don't know if you've seen anything that they're putting out recently. They're all siding with Democrat big government people. And I don't understand why they're going big government. The side that wants more government.
Yeah,
more of what they were talking against 20 years ago. So, I don't know.
More conspiracies.
So, speaking of shrinking governments, if we're done with airplanes.
Yes, this is fly on to the next subject.
All right. So, speaking of shrinking governments, Doge.
Not the crypto.
No. Doge has been going after it. I copied a little thing. I want to get to the point where I start stating my sources and putting them in the there so people can look up what I'm using as references, but I forgot to on this one. But this may actually have been a post from Elon that he put out, but it says you paid for it, but not anymore. Breaking this morning, the White House releases more projects that you paid for with U.S. aid. The wasteful, unaccountable government agency that has been dismantled by Doge and Elon Musk. Here's a look at what your tax dollars went to, including terror groups. I hope you're proud. So, $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. $1.5 million for art and inclusion of people with disabilities. That one, the word disabilities is too broad anymore. But, okay. If they're actually helping people put disabled ramps on buildings where they can get into museums, that kind of, got it. I like it, but I don't like the word disabilities. It's too vague there.
Mm-hmm.
$2 million for parts changes for LGBT activism in Guatemala.
Mm-hmm.
$6 million to transform digital spaces to reflect feminist Democrat principles. $2.1 million to help the BBC value diversity of Libyan society. So we're paying Britain broadcasting network money to talk about diversity in Libya. $10 million worth of U.S. aid funded meals that went to an Al Qaeda linked terror group. 25 million for Deloitte to promote green transportation in the country of Georgia. 2.5 million to promote inclusion in Vietnam. This list is longer than I remember it being. 16.8 million for a separate inclusion group for Vietnam. 5 million worth to EcoHealth Alliance. 20 million to a group related to a key player of the Russiagate impeachment hoax. 1.1 million to Armenian LGBT group. 1.2 million to the African Methodist Episcopal Church Service and Development Agency in Washington, D.C. 2 million to promote alphabet soup equality through entrepreneurship in Latin America. $500K to solve sectarian violence in Israel. Sent just 10 days before the terrorist attack from Hamas. Let's take that also. 2.3 million for artisanal and small-scale gold mining in the Amazon. 3.9 million for alphabet soup causes in the Western Balkans. 5.5. Where'd it go? I lost it. 5.5 million for more activism in Uganda. And I want to stop there. I'm getting tired of reading. But there's several more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and that's just the tip of the iceberg on what they're finding. So I don't know what else you guys are bringing into this conversation, but there's a lot of money there.
So I seen an article that said that Ukraine is saying that they've only received 77 billion of the 107 or 75 billion of the 177 billion that the U.S. said they sent them.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
So, like, there's over $100 billion missing that Ukraine never received that the U.S. claimed to have sent to them.
Yeah, it's a lot of money missing. But we've been saying from the top, saying from the very beginning, we believe Joe was getting his cut off the top of that. So that's really not new, but I'm kind of glad that it's coming out now that that's actually being proved. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of politicians that end up getting out of office a lot richer than they went into office, which I don't understand how that works unless you're getting kickbacks from something or...
They're definitely getting kickbacks. Side note, found an app. I'm not going to name it here just for the sake of...
I know what you're talking about.
All the things. So there's an app. I downloaded it. I got to wait till I get a little bit of money. I'll put it in my Robinhood account. But it automatically mimics what the politicians are doing on their insider trading. It tracks their trades and then makes trades for you in their stuff. So it's I'm gonna give that a try.
A lot of people saying you can make good money that way.
Let me know.
Yeah, I saw it on an advertisement video. A woman, girl was putting on. She goes, "I'm doing this. They're not paying me to tell you, but I'm doing this with this app, and she's using Dan Crenshaw's profile and Nancy Pelosi's profile. She says, I'm playing both sides of the aisle, and I'm making good money out of it. I made several $1,000s already. So
yeah,
I'm gonna give it a shot, see what happens. But I'm waiting for my tax return to come back, so I can put a little bit of money in there and start playing with it and see what happens. But that's the other part about the stock market is if you're just putting money in there, that's got to be money that you don't need for something else, and you're not afraid to lose it if it's you do wrong. So
yeah,
yep.
But back to government corruption.
Woo.
Tyler, you want to?
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. It's a long laundry list of just things that, like, the whole point of that was that department, that program, of all those programs, is to make it it's supposed to be for interest in the United States. So, for example, instead of just going over to some country and slapping upside the face with war, you go to that country and you give them aid, right? Because that's supposed to make them like you. And I think somewhere along the lines, they forgot what exactly they were supposed to be doing in a lot of those cases. Like teaching people different ways of talking or like what there was one in there, he said something about like feminist stuff or something.
So the talking one was one of the very beginning ones.
Yeah.
And that was teaching people in Sri Lanka how to avoid binary gendered language.
I can tell you right now, those people down there care more about their state of living than they do about how they're talking to somebody.
Well, Sri Lanka's India, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
And do you know where most of the scammers are in this world?
India.
They don't care
Yeah.
about your inclusion stuff there.
Nope.
Absolutely don't. That's money laundering. That's all that is.
It's illegal there anyway, so.
I mean, it's flat out. It's all this stuff is money laundering. Going to somebody and it's just coming back over here. I mean, and it's. I love those little quotes. It's Jim Halpert in front of the whiteboard, and it has usually two different ones, and it goes, "If you're trying to cancel foreign aid, and then you've got people over here yelling and mad at you because you're doing it, they're the ones who are getting the money back."
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not aid. It's definitely scamming. They're just wasting money, fraud. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It's been a crazy 2 weeks since he's taken over.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep up with it. They literally, they have a Ouija board, not a Ouija board, a Jenga board. I'm so tired. Okay. I've got the wrong words are coming out of my mouth. They have a Jenga tower. Let me get the right thing. Of lawsuits is what the whole point was. I was trying to come up with some fancy way of saying it when I failed utterly. They have a stack of lawsuits because of all the things that this administration have been trying to do left and right. Like every single day, they're like just foaming at the mouth with all these new things that they're doing.
It's
just blah, 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 blah.
And
everywhere.
I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but there was a post that came out that all the news reporters were complaining that they were tired. We were like 4 days into it because they're used to old Sleepy Joe being in bed by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But you got Elon Musk and Trump they're 7 days a week work types. They don't ever stop.
They don't stop.
They don't stop. And that's part of the other reason why nobody can keep up with it is because they don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to stop until they get done what needs to be done. And I hope it stays on they're doing what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't slide into something else. So
that can trade off in my mind 3 different facets of segues. One of them is our ships will be able to go through Panama Canal for free. The other one is Trump wanting to take over the Gaza Strip. And then the other one was, what was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, doing away with the Department of Education, which is what you guys were chatting about not too long ago. Like, you think about, hopefully Trump and his administration stay with what is important and fight these battles and keep things going and trying to choose the right thing to fight for. Don't just fight because you want your name to be bigger than what it is or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll get the Department of Education one's easy. We'll get that out of the way real quick. I've not done a lot of research on it, but I do know. Here's what I do know: your property taxes that you pay here in this state pay for the education system.
Mm-hmm.
Federal government doesn't give any money towards it. Matter of fact, I believe it's the other direction where we give money to the federal government to prop up the Department of Education. I believe that's how it works. And now all they do is they put down mandates on what kids can have for lunch, and they're feeding them absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that set the mandate. And on top of that, the Department of Defense is the ones who's giving the food to the schools. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I don't know why it's going through the DOD. That was something else I'd come across. So that all the meal programs, everything has to be verified through the DOD.
Well, because they're defending obesity. They're fighting back against obesity.
That's absolutely not happening. Not happening.
Not at all.
So it's the federal. I need to stop touching that. Move my camera everywhere. Federal Bureau of Education does nothing for education. Our kids have only gotten dumber. We used to be number 1 in education in the world. We're down to number 22.
Mm-hmm.
And that has all started to slide ever since they made the Federal Department of Education. I mean, it's had its time. I think it's time for it to go.
Yeah.
Plain and simple on that part.
I agree with that. I mean, that's a good reason. Part of the reason why, like you and I both pulled our kids out of school. They're being homeschooled, and because the education system doesn't do what we need it to do anymore.
No. And am I doing the best job? Probably not. But at the same time, my kids aren't being propagandized either. So that's the biggest part of all of it. That they're not being put into the propaganda system. So,
well, the media would tell you otherwise.
Yeah, they would, but we don't like them either. But
I was looking the other day trying to figure out if there's actually a news organization out now that actually tells the truth. Because I can't find one.
There is not.
Because every article that I read about anything that I actually watch, I'm like, that's not what happened. I'm like, I'll watch something and then I'll read an article about it. I'm like, they didn't even watch the same thing that I watched, apparently, because it's nothing close to what actually happened.
So there is not, but you guys keep talking. I'll come back to this. I'll find something. There's a thing I need to find. So
yeah, because I was looking at, I watched the RFK Jr., like all the questioning and stuff. I watched it, and then but I'd read an article about it, and I was like, what they're talking about in this article was completely opposite of what I watched happen. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely not getting in and all this stuff, and oh, he didn't have the answers to these questions, and I'm like, when I watch it, it's like they ask the questions and then cut him off and don't let him answer the question. It wasn't that he didn't have it; it's he has a little bit of a stutter problem, and the second he stutters, they cut him off and say, "All right, well, you're done talking. You didn't know it. All right, move along." And
it's utterly ridiculous. They just think we're stupid.
Yeah, like I watched it. I'm like, these people don't even know what they're talking about.
They absolutely think we're stupid. So that's what all that is. Pause that. Or come on, where's it at? All right, I'm trying to find it, but there's a website out there now. I think you can use it for free. A lot of people that I've been watching, Liberal Hive Mind, I don't know if you watch any of his videos. It's not showing up on here. Of course it's not.
Nope.
Liberal Hive Mind, and then Officer Tatum. He does it too. It's a website you can go to, and what it does is it pools information. It tells you pick a topic, and it tells you what the left is saying about it, tells you what the right side is saying about it, and lets you pick and choose the articles you want to see based off of what they're saying about it. I can't remember for the life of me what it is. But as far as
YouTubers making advertisements for this,
yes.
It's like an unbiased news source.
Yeah,
it's InfoWars, isn't it?
Not Info.
Oh no, no.
That is
frogs gay.
that is biased. 100%, he is biased.
That's great.
Ground news, is that it?
Ground news. That sounds right.
Right?
News. My news bias.
It will mark each article about how biased it is, like with red, blue, and white, and you'll be able to tell from that little diagram if it's leaning more into the red, leaning more into the blue in terms
Yeah.
of how each article is.
I don't know if that's one, but yes, that's the same basic principle the other one does. It's also searchable too, so you can search topics, find different things you want that you're trying to find out about, and do that. Yeah. So, yeah, ground news, not a sponsor, but something I'll probably start trying to look at for sure. I'll leave it up on my browser tab. I don't know about you guys, but I've got 2 separate Internet Edge windows open, like 9 or 10 tabs in each.
That's normal for me though.
So that's how I roll mine. Keep everything that I need up and on the screen. So I can just click over to it if I need it, and then I can click down, click all my personal stuff down out of the way, and bring my work stuff back up on the other one. Because all my work stuff's on the other one.
I can't handle that. I have maybe 2 tabs open at work. I'll have 4 tabs to 5 tabs opened, and then I quickly, once I'm done with them for the day, I will close them out, and then I'll open back up in the morning. I can't handle stuff everywhere.
For the project that I have at work right now, I currently have 2 Edge windows that are open. One has 9 tabs and the other one has 22.
That's a lot of tabs.
Yeah.
That's tabulating.
I use the vertical tabs and it goes from the top to the bottom. And it's literally only icons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edge you can do vertical tabs.
Interesting.
I like it a lot better. It clears up some of the space at the top.
Oh, well, makes room for another set of 20 tabs.
I'm also using like a 30-inch TV as a monitor here, so I get that problem. So we'll roll back to the Panama Canal if you want to, Tyler. I don't know what you had in mind about it.
Unfortunately, I just have that one statement from what I saw. It was kind of interesting, and they were talking about how they didn't know how they were going to handle that announcement.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, because I'd seen another thing earlier today about how Panama come out and said that it's not true. They're not giving us free patches through it.
Oh, really?
So now I don't know what. It's one of the things I don't know what to believe. Don't know what they're doing. Don't know what anybody's doing.
Yeah. Panama denies State Department's claim U.S. government vessels can freely transit canal.
Yeah. So
It denies the claim until there's a couple U.S. military ships sitting at each end of it, and then that'll change.
Yeah. China. They're behind it.
China.
Oh.
But 3 hours ago, there's an article that came out that says the president of Panama is scheduled to talk to Trump amid talks over the canal.
Yep. We'll own it again by the end of the week.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of owning things,
I don't know if you've seen Trump still leaning on Canada too. He's still talking about that one.
Called in 51st state again the other day. Yeah, I did see that. We'll roll that into. So,
oh man,
it looks like early in the week there's getting ready to be a tariff war, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you, Tyler, if you looked on it. So, we came out and said February 1st goes into action. Tariffs against Canada, China, Mexico. Only 2 that have been slightly postponed. It's Canada's and Mexico's. So originally, 25% was going to be, I don't know how that would affect people, but 25% tariff coming across the border. I think it hurts Canada more than it hurts Mexico because of automotive parts.
Yeah, there was a video I watched that broke it all down. It really hurts Mexico. It's like 35% of Mexico's GDP or something, and then it's only Canada's is 22% or something. So both of them, like Canada was not going to hurt as fast, but comparably to us, it's like not even a 12 or 15% like from them.
Right. I mean, the industry that would hurt the most of that one would have been the automotive industry, because you have the plants in Michigan and then you have plants directly across the border in Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
And parts go back and forth across the border there between plants 2 to 3 times before they finally end up completed and on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to tariff that thing 25% each direction, because it's technically being sold on to the next company, you've now added, it goes across the border 3 times, you've now added 25% 3 times to that one part. So I'm kind of glad that they're working this out. Also, on the other side, Canada promised 10,000 border patrol agents to be on the northern border. I'm just sitting here thinking in my head, I don't think 10,000 is enough to cover that big stretch of border.
Release the wolves.
Yeah. The bears and the wolves.
The bears.
I'd be okay with it. But I don't know. We haven't heard, and that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. We haven't heard as much border issues with people coming from Canada.
Which I don't understand, because there's no border protection on like 90% of that border.
Right.
At all.
I think it's harder for those people to get into Canada than it is to get into Mexico.
Yeah.
To get across the border, but there's nothing there.
I mean, really the only thing that I hear about firsthand is they'll come here into the Americas for the doctor visit, because the healthcare there, it may be free, but you're waiting months and months and months to even see a doctor for a cold.
Right.
So that's the one thing about the border up north that I hear more about.
Yeah. But, I mean, you have that incident in Vermont. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I think I put it on there. The day Trump signed the executive order saying they're going to start deporting people, there's a border agent that got shot in Vermont. And that was from an illegal immigrant who came across the Canada border. So it does happen.
Yeah.
But it's something that we don't really hear about all that much. That just brought to mind, do you guys remember that last year? I don't think it was definitely before the podcast, before we started doing it. Up there in New York, I don't know what happened. Some people had just got done with a concert and then tried to go Dukes of Hazzard and fly over the border crossing in their car.
No,
I
missed this one.
Had the border shut down for a while. Yeah, so it was I can't even remember. It was a couple. Like I said, they had been at a concert and they were in the United States heading towards Canada. They were American citizens, I do believe. But they were driving down the road going to the border checkpoint. When they get there, they hit a concrete barrier that's at an angle and then just send this thing flying. What?
You're the Elon Musk. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Sent that car flying right across, right over the fence, right through the border crossing, crashed down and exploded at the border. And people were freaking out. Absolutely freaking out.
Was it a Taylor Swift concert they wouldn't seen?
I don't know. It'd make a lot of sense because their ears are probably bleeding. Like, just got to make it stop.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
I have a statement I'll make about Kansas City Chiefs and all that stuff. We can cover that at the very end of the episode. We'll cover that later.
We can release our official predictions of the score.
I don't care about the score, but we're gonna talk about it. Alex may not be happy, but we're gonna talk about it. So, I don't know if you guys. So, Mexico got hit the hardest, I do believe, by what's going on because we labeled cartel terrorists, and they are hunting them things down. Did you guys see that we had a C-135 flying over the Baja Peninsula?
Yes.
Doing comm surveillance.
And they were blatant about it.
Yeah, weren't hiding it. Came out and said, "This is what we're doing." So they've been down there flying that dude over, trying to find people down over the Sinaloa region, which is, since there's a cartel named after that area, I would highly think that's full of cartel people. So I think that's what they're doing. They're hunting them bad boys, but at the same time, Mexico has been rounding them some cartel people up and catching all kinds of fentanyl before it gets here now. Magically, all of a sudden, they can do that now.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it before.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's prolonging this 25% tariff right now.
Yeah. And it was like thousands of pounds of fentanyl that they got. It's like, how do you all of a sudden get this intel just now? You know, they knew where that stuff was before, but they weren't doing anything about it.
Well, they're probably getting a cut from the cartel.
No, probably about it, but they realize they're going to lose more money from the federal government. So, from our federal government. And then, I seen two more articles this week. One that cartels are actively firing on our border patrol. Actually, engaging in combat with them, and they're out there. They're setting up booby traps for their vehicles. So they're setting up big long strips down the sides of the rivers, great big cross spikes for flattening tires. So I think we're getting to them. Definitely getting in somebody's nerves.
Yeah.
Good. Get all up in them nerves.
Yep.
Make them nervous.
Here you go. No, I don't know. I hate it. I hate that it has to go this way, but government corruption runs rampant in every single country out there, so it's just nothing that we can avoid at this point anymore. All right. So, Tyler, are you ready to mock?
Mock? Mock who?
People at the Grammys.
I love mocking people at the Grammys.
Okay. We'll let you start then. Where do you want to start with that?
Let's talk about Will Smith's kids. and that hat, the house he was wearing on his head.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I saw the pictures of it, and all I can sit here and think of is
nobody's home.
No. Sorry. It seems more to me that they're on a humiliation ritual. I don't know. It just looks to me like that they're being punished for something.
It's like something
what
you
it
do
is,
to your kids.
I don't know. But I think that's somebody out there not happy with the Smith family. That Smith family, not my Smith family, but
good clarification.
Yep, and they're making them go through a tour of embarrassment. Yeah, I have a hard time with it. I don't, because you would think so. Diddy's been in jail for a while now, and I don't think it's gotten any better out there. Nobody else is getting in trouble. Nobody else is coming in on any of this stuff. Jay-Z allegedly has a civil suit against him for some things that being accused of, but he's still out there running around. It just looks like that Diddy's going to go away and nothing's ever going to come of it. But if he wasn't the top of that, who's the top of that pyramid?
He was just the fall guy.
I don't know. Did you see he had to make an emergency trip to the hospital last week?
Did not.
Yeah. He had an emergency trip to the hospital, went to the hospital, and then was shipped right back to prison.
That's good.
Anyway, who else are you mocking, Tyler?
Beyonce winning the country album.
Yeah. I don't listen to country music.
I don't either.
Definitely don't listen to anything Beyonce does.
Nope. I haven't listened to anything till Destiny's Child and Say My Name was a hit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. No, it's absolutely. I seen a video today. You could see it actually looked like actual shock and disbelief when she won that. Like she actually had no clue that she was going to win that because she shouldn't have.
No,
for one,
not at all.
And I just don't know if she knows how much money was paid out for her to win that. Because I don't know if the report came out the other day about how much money was paid. So I don't know if you guys know how the radio works now. It used to be anybody could go make a song, take an album down to the radio station, give them the album, said, "Here, play this on the radio." They'd go over it, and if they wanted to play it, they'd play it. Now, that's the reason why you hear the same 6 songs over and over and over again. The airtime is bought and paid for. So the record companies and people are buying the time to play the songs. So the more popular people who they want to have the songs out there, they're paying more money to get those songs on the radio more often. So people are hearing those songs more. And since they're getting played more, they're going to the top of the Billboard charts, and they're winning Best Country Album because their song was at the top of the Billboard charts because it was paid for. We're back where it used to be. This is long term. This is pre-Beatles era because the Beatles were one of the first groups that were brought into this.
Yeah. So
pre-Beatles era, anybody could cut an album, take it down to the radio station and play it, and if the radio station liked it, they would. So I applaud people when they try to cross genres, try to bring more people into listening to them. It's neat to see people do that kind of stuff. I like that idea, because me personally, some bands kind of get stuck in one little 4-chord progression and just keep going over the same thing and all their songs sound the same. I'm not really that interested in it.
Yeah.
Right.
But then again, I also stopped listening to music on the radio several years ago now and only listen to stories and newscasts and podcasts and things most of the time now. So,
yeah, I think that's the way a lot of it's going. A few more years and we won't really even have broadcast radio.
Right now, all the big news agencies, a lot of them are losing their funding currently now after this whole big thing with the U.S. aid. But like NPR radio, that's National Public Radio. That's paid for by the federal government.
Yeah.
PBS, right?
Yep.
Is also, this is the TV version, so it's public broadcast station. Paid for by your government.
Yeah.
So what are they going to put out? For sure, government propaganda. What the government wants them to put out. So it's camera's moving a lot. Sorry, tapping on my desk. I hate how much this makes me sound more and more and more like a grumpy old conspiracy theorist every time we get on here.
It's just the way that it is anymore.
Yep.
If you're not a conspiracy theorist, then do you even think for yourself? I mean,
right? That's one thing that we keep trying to tell people is do some research. You don't have to do that much research most of the time to find out what they're saying is not true. I mean, a lot of times they're not even close.
Generally, if it comes from the government, it's not true.
Generally. And I'm going to keep thinking that way even with the current administration. I still don't believe half the things that are said. So,
yep.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yep.
We will see, Any more Grammy nonsense?
Kanye West's wife.
Yeah. What about it?
That's nonsense. And
Yep.
moving on.
Yeah.
You won't catch me out there in that outfit.
No. Nope. It's someone at work tried to say, "Did you see what his wife was wearing?" It's like, no, nobody saw what his wife was wearing. Nobody did because nobody could see it. That's ridiculous. Why do people think that's okay to go out in public that way? Just butt naked. And I know it's California. Maybe all her clothes got burned up.
Maybe.
Because California is still on fire. I was looking at that the other day. 15 miles from where they had the event, there is still fires.
Yeah, that's just not good optics. They're over there patting each other on the back while the firefighters are working hard trying to get the fire from growing any further.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have used your money to help the firefighters, but, I mean, by all means, go and have a lavish night and show off all the $1 million outfits you're wearing and lack thereof.
I don't know. Grammys is another one of the things that I intentionally don't try to consume anything from it. Because I don't care.
Nope.
I don't care at all. I really don't.
Nope, I didn't. I literally just Googled Grammy news whenever you brought this subject up because I've not. It's like I hear things, but I didn't watch it and didn't make an attempt to absorb and look into it specifically because it's brain rot.
Excessive brain rot. So speaking of excessive brain rot, the Super Bowl's coming up.
Woo! Go halftime commercials.
I think the Clydesdales are making their making a debut, coming back again. I did see that. I like watching the Clydesdales. I don't care for what the brand is that they're standing for, but
Butt wiper.
yep. The Bud Light put out their commercial the other day. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I saw
Post
the Baja
Malone.
Blast one.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you need to watch it.
Okay, I'll look
It's
that one
so
up in a
good.
minute. Who do you think is going to win? I don't really care. Kind of want to see Philly win it.
Oh, I want them to win it so bad.
We can't tell Alex that's what we want to happen.
No.
I mean, we can, but we don't want to.
Yeah.
No.
So,
The refs are going to win it. Let's just be honest.
Kansas City's already paid the refs enough money to win it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
that's where my mind's at too. Is that Taylor Swift's already paid all the refs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Checks are already wrote. She's already doing Travis Kelce's checkbook.
She's going to have so many minutes of airtime during the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Hooping and hollering.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
Surprised-
what
Surprised they didn't get her for the halftime show. I mean, she's going to be there anyways.
Yeah.
it make too much
Oh.
sense.
So we also got to watch out, keep an eye on the news for that because Trump's going to be there too.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah?
boy.
He said he's going.
Oh, boy.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night. I'm going to keep a track, and I'm going to keep the count of how many times Taylor Swift pops up on the screen. That's what's going to keep me interested in the game.
I have zero plans of watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
On-
plan.
Honestly, I don't think that should be the first game I watch this year.
Right, that's, yeah. Can't make that the first NFL game I've watched this year. I can't do that. But
I've lost
When-
interest.
so here's my statement that I was going to make earlier that I'm going to make now. Win or lose, I think Philadelphia comes out of this a lot better because win or lose, I think half of Philadelphia gets burnt down and they could probably use it.
Yeah.
It's going to do billions of dollars worth of improvements once they're done.
That's a way of looking at it.
And we just teach their mayor how to spell, and then we'll be doing a lot better.
That was hilarious. I forgot about that. She can't spell Eagles.
That was
She was
the
trying-
mayor? I thought it was
That was
just
the
some
mayor.
random
No,
thing.
that was Philadelphia's mayor.
Mayor.
Oh, my goodness.
Can't spell Eagles. But no, the way in my mind that I see it is that if Philadelphia wins, they'll celebrate and burn the city down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do. If they lose, it's because Kansas City cheated, and they'll still burn their own city down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then they rebuild Kensington Avenue into some white people apartments, and the property values go up.
And either way, it'll be Trump's fault.
Either way.
Yeah, either way, it'd be Trump's fault. Correct. I wish my brain wouldn't go to these places, but it does.
They've been directed there so many times. It's hard to go somewhere else now.
Yeah. Oh. So the Trump's picks are starting to get confirmed. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Mm-hmm.
They are not being nice to them.
Not at
Oh,
all.
no.
I went back and watched a little bit of some of the Tulsi Gabbard stuff from the other day, and they are. It's like you were talking about Kennedy earlier. They ask a question, and then they cut her off before she can answer a question.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ask the same question again, and cut her off before she can answer the question again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was got to the point where the people were like, "Look, dude, I said you can have one more question. You've already asked 3. We're moving on from you on to something else." So it's all big dog and pony show that I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. My favorite's when they ask a question and they only want a yes or no answer. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, there's more to the answer than just yes or no. So can I explain myself? No, I want a yes or no. I'm like, well, then we can just stop talking about it, I guess, because it's not that simple.
Well, the worst part about the Tulsi Gabbard one is that they're having a public hearing. And then after the public hearing's over, they're going to have a private hearing. No cameras, no nothing. Just her in the room with those same people where nobody else knows what's going on in the room. I don't like Why do they have to hide it? If they're going to do that private one, why are they doing the public one in the first place?
All right.
Is it just for show?
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
So, I don't know. It's confusing to me for sure, all the things that are going on. I do know that my least favorite pick of his got confirmed, old Pam Bondi. She's the reason that Florida has red flag laws for gun purchases. So, watch your gun rights with her, because nobody on the 2A side trusts her at all.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. She's already made some statements about the ATF and regulating them on the alcohol and tobacco side of things, but not on the firearm side. She's already made those statements since being confirmed.
It's fine. Doge will get in and shut that down here before long too.
So I made the comment several episodes ago about Brandon Herrera being named as possible ATF director pick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's research back around again. He came out with another video the other day, and I actually like what he had to say. He came out and said, I 100% support the ATF being disbanded. I would love for you to make me the person that does it from the inside. But you need to think about this before we do it. The ATF, out of all the federal agencies, is one of the lowest funded agencies out there. If you just take away the ATF and don't take away the laws that are created that they're trying to uphold or infringe upon, however you look at that, what government entity does that go to? Does it now transfer over to the FBI, which has 40 times the budget that they had and can now chase down people even more? He goes, and I believe he was trying to put his voice out there where he wants to get in it, because he says from the inside we need to get in first, work on the actual laws, work on the mandates, work on all everything stuff, get rid of all that stuff first, and then shut the department down. It's like the NFA. Your background check already goes through the FBI. Your background check doesn't go to the ATF. But at the same time, why do we need two agencies doing it? And then why do we need... I lose... My brain doesn't work anymore. Having sick kids and my sleep schedule is all messed up. But that's also the reason... So the ATF is the reason why this gun right here behind me on the wall doesn't have a suppressor on the end of it. So I don't know. So exciting. You two, I can tell you're real excited about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there any picks that you guys are particularly excited to see come in that have been? I know Pete Hegseth finally got his confirmation. They've delayed Kash Patel's for another week. He had his first hearing the other day, and now they delayed him another week. He's taking over FBI director.
I don't know who all they've confirmed so far.
I've personally only seen... The only two, though, I've really paid attention to were Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi, because I was watching Pam Bondi because I wanted to see what she was going to say about our gun rights, because I know she's been anti-Second Amendment a little bit, so in her past life. Well, she was the Attorney General for the state of Florida for a long time, and then she was responsible for getting all those laws passed down there too. So
they've confirmed quite a few already.
Have they?
Marco Rubio, Scott Bensett, Besant, Doug Burgum.
I don't know any of these people.
Scott Turner, Sean Duffy, Chris Wright, Doug Collins.
Any relation to Phil?
Christy Noam.
I've heard that name. What's she been?
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. Okay.
Lee Zeldin.
Nope. Don't know that one.
Russ Vaught.
Nope.
John Ratcliffe.
John Ratcliffe.
Director of the CIA.
Huh. Nope. CIA may not be I was really surprised when Trump offered the entire CIA the buyout the other day.
The buyout?
Yeah, he offered them the entire CIA that buyout. Basically, you can retire now. We'll pay you turn in your resignation, we'll pay you another 8 months.
Yeah.
He said, everybody at the CIA, here's the offer for you.
I know he's planning on turning the FBI inside out, especially trying to figure out what happened when he got shot.
Yeah, I mean I believe that's why Kash Patel got pushed off for another week because they're so busy. They don't have a paper shredder big enough to get rid of all the evidence before he takes over. So that's my thoughts on that one. Because he wants the same way. He's basically says all the FBI people, there's no reason for an FBI person to have a desk job.
Yeah.
You're technically cops. Go out there and be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
So he's I don't know if you guys saw that Sean Ryan episode. It's the middle of last year. He came on there, was talking about how day one when he takes over, he would shut down the Hoover building and turn it into a monument of the deep state. Day one.
I like it.
What are you Googling, Tyler? I heard you clacking.
Oh, I was just looking into stuff. It's sad. I can't remember why I liked Marco Rubio so much when he tried running for president against Trump and before he got to be the Secretary of State. I knew I liked how he talked and how he carried himself as a person, but I just could not remember why. So I started trying to Google things about him.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. That's the bad part about it is that the people who aren't Trump and Biden, Obama, we don't remember because they're constantly doing something constantly in the news. Speaking of Biden being in the news again, did you see he just signed with a talent agency in California? He just signed with a talent agency to start doing his Hollywood career, I guess.
We're gonna get Weekend at Bernie's 3
because he can remember those scripts, but can't remember which direction he's supposed to go off the stage. That's gonna work well for him.
It'll be fine.
No, it won't. No, it won't. Yeah. My brain hurts because there's too much stuff has happened in the last 2 weeks. And my brain, I can't pick which direction my brain needs to go from it, you know? I can't figure it out. Can't pick it up. Can't put it down. Guy on Twitter the other day, he posts stuff about his weight loss every day. And he put on there, is like, is there any other social media I can go to that's not politics? And I'm like, sadly, I don't think there is.
MySpace?
I tried to get on there again the other day, and that website is just about completely burnt to the ground. Are you trying to get on there, Tyler?
I am.
I couldn't even get it to load on my phone. They don't have a mobile platform at all anymore. Yeah, there's no app, there's no mobile website or anything. It's all just full website.
Did they have one before?
Yeah, they had an app.
We're talking like 2005, the last time someone used it.
Yes.
Am I in?
They had an app.
There wasn't apps until 2007.
Sign in. You can sign into MySpace with your Facebook or your Twitter.
It's okay. You'll be able to sign in with your TikTok with your Facebook here before long. The reason that TikTok went down and then came back up, and all of their information got moved to a meta server.
Really?
Yeah.
You still can't download the app.
Yeah, that's why they were down. That's why they were down for a day, and everybody was freaking out about it because they moved their entire company to a Facebook like one of Meta's servers.
Is that why old Zuckerberg's been over there trying to be all nice to T-Rump, huh? Let's mute that. People. Let's see who's still on my friends list.
You happen to see that yesterday they announced the Congressman Al Green's trying to move to impeach Trump.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah, he's already introduced articles of impeachment.
Yeah.
Did you see that Mitch McConnell fell twice yesterday? He's he's following up Biden really well. It knows who I am.
I'm on my profile. My profile. I got pictures and videos, and everything's blanked out.
Yeah, I mean it's absolute gone. Everything is gone that you ever put on there.
See all my
everything
friends?
you put on there is gone.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, where would I sign into this at? I don't even remember the last.
MySpace.com.
I know, but I don't know what my username would be or what email address I was using then. Or
I used my current one and it came up. So I mean, yeah, all my pictures are gone.
Some people's pictures are still there. Hey, Troy, it says you're online.
Oh, my friends with myself. Yeah, there's people on here. Still some pictures. I don't know. Those are simpler times, weren't they?
Oh, there they were times, all right.
Did you ever do the coding in your profile?
Oh yes, I had all emo,
Yep.
all sad, hardcore.
Yep. I miss those days. You could practice coding, and you're trying to learn how to do different stuff on a social media platform. Yeah.
I want to know how like these our photos are all like not working. It's
They probably deleted all of it. It's probably the whole everyone's connected thing all over again.
everyone's connected.
Ubuntu. Everyone's connected. What? Social media?
What do you yell, Ubuntu?
Because that's what it changed to. And then it was crashed. Went down, and nobody could ever get back in it again. Yeah. That was forever ago, too.
Man.
That was another sad one, because I had pictures on there that I didn't have anywhere else, and I have no way to get those back. All that stuff's just gone. Somebody hacked that one and crashed the website, and they're like, yep, sorry, it's gone. Nothing we can do about it. I will tell you right now, though, I am very upset with Caroline Leavitt.
Who's Caroline
The
Leavitt?
the new press secretary.
Oh, okay.
Because she has not emailed me back yet. Waiting for that email to come through.
She's doing a great job dealing with the press, though.
I love watching it. It is hilarious. Because she not only is she prepared, she has paperwork and receipts in her hands.
Yeah.
And is ready. Almost too prepared. So prepared is kind of suspicious.
But it's hilarious.
It's funny. I love watching it. Yeah, I'm just double checking my email right now. Make sure she hadn't emailed me today. I don't think so. I'm going to check the junk folder. I don't know why something from the White House would go to the junk folder, but you never know.
It probably goes there quite a bit.
Technical. Nope. What that was. Body tried the vapor lock on me. Nope, not here. That's sad. That is sad. Well, anybody got anything else they want to go over? We made it an hour and a half again.
Nice.
By the time I cut all the empty spaces out of it, it'll probably be down like an hour and 10. But
Trump this morning did that national prayer breakfast.
I watched a little bit of that video.
It's interesting.
Won't you got any highlights from it? Because I didn't watch that much because I had a screaming child in my hand at the time. So,
I mean, he was basically talking about how the biggest problem in America is that everybody's been walking away from God, and we all need to turn. He basically, it's like we need to, as a country, need to turn back to God. And said we need to push for religion to be bigger in our lives, and it was interesting.
may have to try to watch that. I may reserve that for when the tiny tyrant gets up here about 1 o'clock. I hate to say that kind of things about him, but he's not feeling well. But at the same time, it's whether he feels good or not, he still wakes up at 1 o'clock in the morning every day. Get ready, Tyler. It's coming.
I didn't hear this part. I don't know if this is the AP News headline.
News.
After prayer breakfast, Trump creates task force to root out anti-Christian bias.
Okay. I think that's them. He did say that he's going to have some type of religious coalition together. Coalition for religion. That was said. I don't know if it's going to go. I don't know how that's going to go.
The quote says, Trump said Bondi would also work to fully prosecute anti-Christian violence and vandalism in our society and to move heaven and earth to defend the rights of Christians and religious believers nationwide.
Unless he knows something that we don't. I know that I always believe that our rights as Christians are going to be under attack heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that may be coming soon. The way that they're working on that there. I kind of think that's what's going to come next. So I think we need to be ready for that for sure. But I like that he's trying to put something in place, but I don't know how well it'll go, because you have those people who believe that that the government shouldn't be in religion, period. I am under the belief that the government shouldn't be making more government agencies. That's just my opinion.
We need a lot less government for sure.
A lot less government, a lot more common sense.
Okay. So you can access. I'm still on this whole get my crap off of MySpace thing.
Okay.
You can go and access the old archived version of MySpace through
really?
websites like Wayback Machine on archive.org by pasting your URL there. So I want to try that.
Oh, let's give that a shot. What is going on?
Let's see. Okay. Now, this is fun.
So, you said
On
Wayback
live.
Machine?
Yeah, and then you put your URL into the link there.
How do I get my URL? Right there.
Yeah.
Found it. I had forgotten about that. I remember you could change your URL. You remember that? You can make your URL whatever you wanted it to be.
Oh, yeah.
Wayback Machine. Stupid work computer.
That's not
Content is blocked.
Maybe I need a...
I don't know. It's interesting. Control V. Search. Search. Apply. Does not go through that website. You can get it on the Mac App Store. Wayback Machine Alternative. 10 Wayback Machine alternatives in 2025. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? It's loading. It's loading. It's loading, Tyler.
How are you getting it to work?
We'll see what happens. It's on archive.is.
Archive.is.
A bunch of what it's doing. It's got all kinds of nonsense on here. Well, that just brings up my face, my face now. That ain't helpful. It's not helpful at all.
Am I getting something? I think I might have gotten something.
How'd you?
I went to archive.org, and whenever I searched, I had clicked the wrong thing to search. I needed to click web page. It was defaulted to some other element. So now it's downloading everything from MySpace.
You want to search archived websites?
Yep. And then type and paste in your link.
My URL.
Your URL.
This content is blocked by your organization. Work computer got me again.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it's sad. I lost all my pictures. I had some good ones on there.
I just want the videos I had. I don't even remember uploading any videos on MySpace.
Stupid MySpace. Stupid MySpace. Why'd you have to go away?
Well, it's not away.
What the heck? What's going on here? Yeah. So, the snowstorm that came down through Florida last week, since we're talking, I'll talk while we're waiting. Mm-hmm. You guys know what Sick Week is? No? So, it is a event for drag racers, and as drag cars, not drag queens. Let's get this straight right out of the gate. Drag car racing. It's Sick Week is Georgia and Florida. They have to race the car and then drive that same car to the next track and then race it again.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people out there that have built cars. They are 4,000 plus horsepower. They take it, they drag race it, put it on the road, and drive it to the next town. They hold it in the South in the wintertime for one reason only, because it doesn't snow.
Mm-hmm.
And it got snowed out and moved back a week.
It's always interesting.
It is. Yeah. We got full size, because there's technically still street cars. They're heavily modified street cars. And I'm trying to think what its fastest time was in the quarter mile. It was north of 220 mile an hour.
It's moving.
Yeah. And we're talking full size, like 70s steel body cars going over 200 mile an hour. It's a lot of fun to watch. Figure it out, Tyler? No? You ready? You continue this tomorrow while you're at work?
I think I just was reading that back in 2000 and where was it? 19. MySpace migrated to a new server, and when they did that in the new platform, it wiped out 12 years worth of stuff from everybody. It almost did. Yeah.
That's where they keep trying to tell you the internet is forever until it's not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep trying to say the internet is forever, but quickly learning they can get rid of what they want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I guess with that, we'll call this one closed. We'll see what comes for the next one,
That's right.
because there's so much nonsense going on out there that I don't know. So much nonsense going on. It's hard to keep track. I'm going to try to get something good news related on to the next one. And, I don't feel like we need something more uplifting on the next one. There's a lot of people in doom and despair mode right now. So we'll figure out what that's going to be. 3-day challenge before we close this out. There's a 3-day challenge coming up for no coffee. Can you complete it? It's on February 29th, 30th, and 31st.
I'll give anyone a high five if they can do it. One solid high five right here.
Right? Nobody can do it.
No.
Did you catch what days I said it was on?
Mm-hmm. I did.
They don't exist, Tyler.
They don't exist.
Fine. Nobody wants to do that anyways.
No.
We don't want to deal with a bunch of cranky people, okay?
No, we don't. Nope. But anyway, back to signing off this thing. Got distracted again. Sorry. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. We will see you on the next time.
Later.
See ya.